Welcome. Say hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be working on the Chiftitelli rhythm and a really beautiful Floorwork combination. Okay, I'm really excited to teach this workshop with you guys. It's going to be fun. I do recommend that you have a yoga mat and a pillow. This will be helpful for you when we start to get on the floor. Okay, we're going to start the class with a little bit of stretching and strengthening exercises to warm up our core so that we can hold our bodies up and hold our own body weight once we're on the floor. Okay, and I'm going to walk you through this nice and slow so that everybody feels safe and comfortable, because some of these poses can be challenging, especially if you're a beginner. So make sure to listen to your body throughout this whole class, and make sure that if something doesn't feel right, to back off and listen to your body, okay? I'm gonna try to offer modifications for certain things, just in case there's anyone out there who can't handle like holding themselves in plank and side plank, things like that. All right, so grab yourself a yoga mat and a pillow. And then if you have a belt, that could be useful too. If you have like tight quads or something, grab a belt. But it's not a big deal if you don't have one nearby. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to grab that, and then we'll get started. So this class, I'm going to be talking about the Chiftitelli rhythm, which is what's it called? An 8/4 time signature, and it's of Turkish and Greek origins. So you'll see this Chiftitelli rhythm a lot in Turkish style belly dancing. So this rhythm has really been adopted in a lot of belly dance music, and it's perfect for practicing things like arms, for floor work, and also for improvisation. Because of its slow and juicy nature, it has a very magical and mesmerizing feeling to it. So it gives the dancer a nice opportunity to, yeah, sure, I'll save it. No worries. So yeah, the slowness in the music gives the dancer a nice opportunity to really feel into the rhythm, into the music, and create a sense or mood of drama or intensity, and create that mesmerizing kind of vibe. All right, so with that, let's begin. If you see me looking side to side, it's because I'm live on YouTube as well, so I'm looking at both cameras, just in case you were wondering, like, why is she looking side to side like that? All right, you guys, let's begin. So I'm gonna get on my yoga mat. I suggest you do as well. All right. And have your pillow nearby in reaching distance, okay? We're gonna just start in child's pose and take a couple breaths here. Exhale, lower your head down, lay your chest on your thighs. Inhale, feel your rib cage expanding on all four sides. Exhale, melt into the pose, relaxing your body. One more breath here. Inhale, expand. Exhale, relax. And look up towards your hands. Inhale, come on up. Separate your knees hip distance. And exhale, we're gonna sit on our heels, walking our hands back about this distance from the knees, okay? So we're gonna do this modified cat-cow stretch so that we're isolating the thoracic spine, the upper back, okay? So you're gonna inhale, pull your chest forward and up. Exhale, rounding the spine, separating the shoulder blades at your back. Pulling that navel in towards your spine. Inhale, pull your chest forward and up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, come back to neutral. And then we're gonna lift our hips up, walk the hands forward a little bit, and we're gonna switch the hands so that the fingertips are facing the knees. One at a time, nice and slow. And from here, I'm gonna tuck my toes so that I have better control, and I'm slowly gonna sit my hips back until I feel a gentle stretch in my wrists. We gotta warm up the wrists so that once they start to bear our weight, it's not like a shock to our poor little wrists, okay? So we're gently leaning backwards, rocking forwards, leaning backwards, rocking forwards, just stretching the backs of the wrists here. All right, next, we're gonna flip the wrists so that the backs of the hands are down. And then you're slowly, same thing, gonna sit your hips back, but only go as far as is comfortable in your body, okay? You don't wanna feel anything too intense. It's just a nice, gentle stretch. Shifting your weight forward and back as you stretch in this pose. Be very gentle here, okay? Make sure you're breathing. Okay, and now release the wrists. Uncurl your toes, come back to your heels, and we're gonna flip the palms up, and we're gonna do a wrist circle by folding first your pinky, then your ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and thumb. Flip the wrists around, and then go like this, like you're revving a motorbike. And then now we're reversing it. We're gonna open up the thumbs as we flip the wrists open. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. And then like we're washing a window, circling the wrists back around. Okay, so now we'll just shake it out, do a couple things here. All right, I'm gonna get closer so you can see my wrists. I feel like I'm too far. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a wrist undulation now that we're practicing with our wrists here. Okay, so let's see. Here we go, hold your fingers. Press down through your first knuckles till the wrist comes up, keeping the elbow and fingertips in their place. Drop the wrist, lift the knuckles, again, keeping the elbow and fingertips in place. One more time, lift the wrist, and then drop the wrist. Press down through the knuckles, lift the wrist, lift the knuckles, press down through the wrist. Okay, and now we're gonna practice our undulation. Press down through the knuckles, lift the wrist, lift the knuckles, and roll through the fingers. Press down, lift the wrist, and lift the knuckles, press the wrist. Okay, other side. Grab onto your fingertips, lock that elbow in place, press down through the first knuckles, lift that wrist up, and then lift the knuckles, drop the wrist down. Again, press those knuckles down, lift the wrist, drop the wrist, lift the knuckles. Okay, now let's practice the undulation, pressing down through the first knuckles as you lift, and then press the wrist, lift the knuckles. 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. I'm gonna come back to my mat. And now we're gonna stretch our toes because there's a part where we're gonna be kneeling and I need you to have nice warmed up toes, and this is a great stretch. It's actually really important to have that mobility in the toes for a healthy gait in our walk and running, and for shimmying, it's super important. So tuck your toes under. Okay, and you're gonna put your hands on your hips for now. Slowly sit back onto your toes, feeling a nice stretch in those big toes. And then from here, you're gonna lift back up, and then lift your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you, and go into a small back bend. And come back up, shift your hips back, sit back onto the toes. Okay, one more time. Come on up. Lift your chest up, lean your head back. I'm not gonna crunch in the back of my neck. The back of my neck is still really long. I'm just looking at the corner where the wall meets the ceiling and just feeling a nice opening sensation in the front of my body and my chest and my torso. Okay, and then come back up and then sit back down. Okay, now we're gonna come up off our knees and balance on our toes, okay? You can have your hands in front of your chest for balance. And now with control, nice and slowly, you're gonna lower your knees to the floor, and then sit back up. Good. And then lower your hips down, lift the knees up, balance on those toes. This is super important. We're gonna be doing this in our choreography. And now we're gonna lower the knees down, nice and slow. Squeeze your inner thighs together, come down, and up, okay? Now we're gonna do a little variation on this exercise, so come on down, balance on your toes, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower down one knee at a time. So I'm gonna go right knee, left knee, come up with the right knee, come up with the left knee. Woo, don't lose your balance. Ah! And then reverse it. Left knee, right knee. Come up, left knee, right knee. And then nice and slow and controlled, both knees down. Come on up, release those toes. Woo! That's intense. Tap them out if you need to. Good. All right, so that's enough now on the knees. So we're gonna roll over, remove the pillow from under your knee, put it aside, but we're still using it, so don't put it too far, keep it close. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take my fingers and put one finger in between each toe. Kind of like, you know what, when you get a pedicure and they give you those toe things so that you don't ruin your nail polish, like that. And this is gonna create an opening and stretch your toes out nice and wide. So just hold there, and sometimes it feels good to like squeeze the bottom of the ball of the feet too, just to open up and relax the feet. Okay, and then release. We'll do the other side. So fingers in between each toe, like you're getting a pedicure. Okay, once the fingers are in there, feel that stretch. You know, maybe curl your toes and like grab your fingers with your toes, and then squeeze the toes with your hands, kind of massaging the ball of your feet here. Feels really nice. And then release. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. All right, guys, we're gonna do a little bit of an ab warm up here because we really need to have our core warmed up for what we're gonna do in our choreography, okay? So come on up to the top of your mat. All right, and we're gonna sit up nice and tall with your spine. So inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release the grip of your legs, and then slowly begin to roll down one vertebrae at a time, okay? First, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Roll down to your tailbone, sacrum, lower back. And then you're gonna stop right at about your bra line, or right at about your bottom rib. Just stop right there. Lift. Lift your feet to a reverse tabletop. So your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Flex your feet, and you're gonna tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drive that belly button down towards your spine. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now both arms to the left. 1, 2. Stay lifted in your shoulders. Keep your neck long. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And then slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Yeah. Okay. Now you're gonna bring your heels a little bit closer to your butt so that you can barely graze them with your fingertips, okay? Keep your heels and knees about hip distance, and we're gonna come into a bridge. So you're gonna roll those triceps underneath you so that your chest can be open, and then you're gonna lift your hips up. Try to keep your butt or glutes relaxed. You don't wanna be necessarily squeezing them. And keep your knees in line with your hips, so we don't want them splaying open like this, okay? Just parallel with your hips. Breathing here. Getting a nice stretch in the front body, on the thighs, the hip flexors, the torso. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, lower down nice and slow. Okay, one more exercise here. We're gonna stay down with our head and shoulders on the floor. You're gonna lift your feet and knees to this reverse tabletop position, and make sure your knees are pushed further out towards the wall in front of you rather than hugging into your knees. Make sure the knees are right over the hips, okay, or a little bit forward. All right, so from here, you're gonna straighten your right leg and point it towards the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. And then come back to tabletop. And again, keep those knees over your hips. Don't bring them in here because then you're not working your abs at all. But here we go. So straighten the left leg towards the corner, upper corner, and rebend to tabletop. Make sure you're breathing. Exhale, stretch out. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, stretch out. Inhale, come back to center. Let's do one more on each side. Exhale, stretch out. Keep that belly button driving down towards your spine. Come back to center. Exhale, straighten the left. And come back to center. All right, now we're gonna do little taps. So my feet are pointed, and with my big toe, I'm just tapping the floor. Tap, 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 tap. Keep that belly button in towards your spine. Make sure you're breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Good. So that's just a small, gentle warm-up for the core here. All right, so next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually roll all the way over to my left side so that my shoulders are stacked, okay? So my right shoulder is stacked on top of my left. Then I'm gonna use my bottom hand as a pillow for my neck. All right, and from here, I'm gonna open up my chest towards the ceiling. And if your shoulder and elbow doesn't touch the floor, that's totally fine. It's not meant to in this stretch. I don't know what happened. Okay, sorry, bad connection, got disconnected for a second. Let's continue, other side. So we're gonna roll all the way over until our shoulders and hips are stacked one on top of the other. Use your bottom hand as a pillow here underneath your head, and then slowly open the left shoulder out to the side. Good, and then close, rolling all the way over. Open, reaching the arm out. One more time, close, and open, reach all the way out. Now we're gonna do our handlebar exercise, so reach up towards the top of the mat, grab that imaginary handlebar, and pull down. Up, and this is a really great shoulder opening exercise. We're gonna need our shoulders nice and open and warmed up for our combo today. Okay, and now roll all the way back over. Use your hand to press into the floor to sit yourself back up to seated. Okay, guys, now we're gonna do a side plank, okay? So we're gonna roll over to one hip. And let's begin first with hip lift. So my knees are bent, and I'm gonna come down to my forearm. All right, so my elbow, make sure it's in line with your shoulder or a little bit in front of your shoulder. You definitely don't want it here because you'll lose your balance and be really unstable in that shoulder joint. So line up that elbow in its correct position, and here we go. We're gonna just lift the hips up, lift and hold. Breathing. This is super great for your side body, strengthening your core, your obliques, your shoulder, and lower down. Let's do that one more time. And lift, hold for a breath, breathing in and out through your nose, and lower down. Okay, now we're gonna try a full side plank, but modified. So meaning we're gonna keep one leg on the ground, okay? So the bottom leg is still bent and is supporting my body weight, okay? And my top leg is straight now, straight out there. Okay, here we go. We're gonna lift the hips up and breathe. One more breath here. And lower down. Okay, now we're gonna come back down to our arm, and we can support our head with our hand. This time you're gonna cross your top leg in front of the bottom leg and straighten your bottom leg out. And we're gonna do some work for our inner thighs, okay? I hope I'm not flashing anyone here, okay. Lift the foot up and down. Lift and hold for like 4 seconds, and then lower. This is great for warming up those inner thighs. We need those inner thighs really on for our combo. And down, and up, and down. Okay, great. Let's do the other side. So use your hand to roll on up to seated. Go over to the other side. Okay, and here we go. We're going to start with our hip lift. So both knees are stacked and they're bent. My elbow is underneath my shoulder. Okay, here we go. We're going to lift that hip up. Lift and hold. Take a deep breath here. And lower down. Okay, now we're going to come into our side plank. So extend the top leg. Keep that bottom leg bent to support your weight. And we're going to lift up, lifting the hips up. Lift. You can extend your arm up to the ceiling, creating a nice long line from the bottom hand all the way through the chest to the top hand. Breath, make sure you're really lifting those hips up. And the hips are pretty much in line with your shoulders, okay? And then nice and slow, lower down. We're gonna come down to our arms, supporting our head with our hand. crossing the front leg over the bottom leg, extending the bottom leg out. We're gonna do our inner thigh exercises. So now lift the bottom leg, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up, hold. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. I lost count how many we did last time, so let's just do one more just in case. Exhale, lower down. Okay, awesome. Great work, guys. All right, so I think that's all I had for our warm-up. Yeah, so that concludes our warm-up. Now we're gonna drill some of the belly dance movements for our choreography. All right, so I'm just gonna stand up and move my mat out of the way. And we're gonna start with Maya's. Okay, grab a sip of water if you need to. And we'll begin with the Mayas, okay? So to do a Maya, make sure your feet are no wider than fist distance apart, slightly turned out. Bend your knees deeply. And really sit your hips so that your pelvis is kind of heavy and grounded into the earth. And now we're just gonna practice shifting the hip side, leaning, feeling a nice lean into each hip. And lean. Lean. And lean. Okay, come back to center. Lift that right hip up, kind of doing like a side crunch here, okay? Without moving your ribcage too much. The crunch is happening more in your lower abdomen, lifting the hip. And now we're gonna go slide out to the side and lean into that hip. Now side crunch on the left side. And slide over, lean into the other hip. Okay, let's smooth it out. Crunch, up and over to the side, lift up, slide out and down. Smoothing it out, up, side, down, up, side, down, lift, lean to the side, lift, lean to the side. Okay, good. Now the combo in the piece of music, our feet are kind of here. One is slightly in front of the other, both feet are turned out. Okay, then hands are crossed. And you're gonna Maya right, and then left, and then down, down. Okay, let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's try that with music. Oh yeah, I have the music here. Oh, don't put it. Bring your mat back. We're gonna need your mat. Sorry. Bring your mat back. Okay. Okay. Let's do just a Maya drill with music. Here we go.
Tap. Doom. Tap. 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 Doom. Tap. Doom. Tap. Tap.
That's the rhythm. Maya. Okay. Actually, let's do that one more time. One more time. Here we go. And I forgot to mention there is a level change as we do our hip downs. We're coming down, down. We're bending the knees deeply, so we're going drop, drop, okay? All right, and then the next thing I want to drill with you guys is this wrist circle, okay? So this wrist circle is kind of like this wave, the princess wave, okay? So notice that the wrist is rotating side to side, but it's on the horizontal plane. So if I were in sand, it would be drawing a ring, a circle in the sand below it. So it's horizontal, okay? The fingertips are pointing up most of the time. So I'm gonna have my palm out, just begin my wrist circle by pressing through that first set of knuckles, rotate the wrist around, and then finish it with an undulation, okay? So that's the combo that we're doing here. So we go, and remember that like princess wave, that's like the the motion that we're doing, but with prettier hands. So we wrist circle out, in, undulate. Wrist circle out, in, release, undulate. Okay? Let's try the other side. And palm is facing out, pressing through the knuckles, pulling in, releasing, and undulating. Palm is out. Begin the wrist circle, pressing through the first knuckle, rotating in, releasing, and then undulating. Okay, good. Next, let's go over our belly roll. So I'm gonna face the side so that you can see. And here we go, bending the knees. My hips are gonna be shifted slightly towards my heels. And I'm gonna start by tilting my pelvis slightly back and really filling up my belly with air, okay? And releasing. Now let's do that again. Fill up that belly with a lot of air. Really press, feel a nice stretch in your belly. And release, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, like you're sucking all that air out of your belly. And push out, and in. And out, and in. And I'm contracting my abs. I'm stretching my abs here, and then contracting. And stretching, and contracting. Okay, great. Now let's try to go into a roll here. So Shiloh, no. Bend your knees, sit into your hips, and tilt your pelvis, drop that belly out. Now you're gonna tuck that pelvis in, contracting from your upper abs, middle abs, lower abs, releasing. Okay, again, push out. And as I push out, I'm shifting my hips forward and scooping up with my pubic bone, pulling in from the upper belly, mid belly, lower belly, releasing back. Now my weight's at my heels again. Belly is out, shift towards my toes, contract upper belly, mid belly, lower belly, release. Back at my heels, push out towards my toes, contract upper, middle, lower, release. Okay, great. Now let's drill the flutter. So the flutter, remember, we're gonna inhale, exhale, hold the breath, create a lock at your jugular notch, and then create that vacuum by sucking in your ribs. Your ribs are gonna flare out to the side. So ready, let's do it together. We inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Hold the breath here and suck in. Release. Now remember, if you notice your chest is going up and down as you're trying to pump your belly out, that means you're not doing your lock. You have to make sure you're locking your breath, okay? And one way to tell that you're holding your breath is that this little area here, your jugular notch, will suck in deeply. See that cave? You have to have that in order to be able to do the flutter. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Hold the breath. Don't let any air in and out. Now suck in using the air that's already in your lungs, okay? Find that cave in your jugular notch and that cave in your rib cage. And release. Breathe. Okay, great. So that's the flutter. All right, now let's begin with our choreography, okay? So the first 8 count, this is Amber. She loves to hang out with me on my yoga mat. So the first 8 count, we are standing, okay? And we're gonna be in this position where my right foot is slightly in front of my left, feet are turned out. All right, and we're gonna circle the arms out. Doom, tech, 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 tech. Doom, doom, tech. Okay, so that's the drum notation for Chiftitelli. Doom, tech, 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 doom, doom, tech. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so here we go. Ready? With the palms facing in, open. Doom, tech, 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 tech. Doom, doom, tech. And the final tech is just a chin lift. All right, one more time. Have intensity and energy in the arms as you slowly and dramatically open. Doom, tech, 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 tech. Doom, doom, tech. Notice I drop my chin to prepare for the chin lift. Boom. Now we're gonna come into our melt. So the hand pattern first, they're just gonna uncross, framing the chin, opening up, flipping the palms back down, okay? Our hips are gonna Maya, but I'm gonna do a really big drop as I Maya. So it's kind of like very dramatic, like I'm falling. Boom, ta, 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 boom, boom, ta, okay? Have your pillow ready because we're gonna come down, okay? So this next part, it goes from here. So I would have the pillow like right in front of your toes, okay? Because that's where we're gonna land with our knees. And we Maya to the right first. Doom, tek, 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 tek. Doom, doom, tek. Come down to your knees. So remember that exercise we were doing earlier where we're going up and down? This was to warm up our quads for this move because we're using our hips to get low, down, down, and then squeezing my legs together for nice control and strength. Come down onto both knees. Now, a cheat for this that I find helps me when my legs aren't feeling strong is you go down one knee at a time. So first you start with the drops, right? Drop, drop. So now you're already halfway down. The distance between your knees to the floor isn't that great, right? And then when you can't go any lower, you just go one knee at a time. So I go right, left. So whatever works for your body, okay? Whether it's going down on both knees or one knee at a time. All right, so one more time that combo from the Maya. We go doom, tek, 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 tek. Get close to that pillow. Doom, doom, tek. And you cross the knees, cross the wrists in front of your belly on tek, the final tek. All right, so let's try that with music. Here we go. So from the very beginning, okay? Standing up, opening the hands out, and tap, 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 boom, boom, tap. Boom, tap, 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 boom, boom, tap. All right, moving on. Let's go. Once we're on our knees here, we're gonna roll over to the left, okay? We're gonna roll over to that left knee and keep the pillow underneath the knee, okay, for support. Place your hand underneath your shoulder, slightly in front, definitely not close to your hips because you'll lose balance. So either underneath your shoulder or slightly in front, okay? Extend the top leg, and here we're gonna come into our side plank. On doom, we're lifting the hips. Doom, tek, 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 tek. Doom, doom, tek, okay? Let me make sure you guys can see. Oh, okay. Oh, gotta keep angling those cameras. Move this back a little bit so you can see. Okay, so back to our side plank on the left hip. Here we go. Find a nice supported position here with your hand. And we are gonna, with this hand, circle down towards the back and up. Look at your hand, and then wrist circle out. And then flip the palm and undulate and place your hand on your head. All right, so now with the hip movement, we go doom, tek, 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 doom, doom, tek, undulate and place. Okay, so let's try the whole thing from the very beginning. And so we're standing and we open the arms with intensity and energy. Doom, tek, 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 doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, 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 doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, 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 tek. This is the part. Doom, doom, tek, tek, tek. And now we're gonna Maya. Doom, tek, 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 tek. Forward twist, back twist, sit. Okay? I know it seems like a lot, but don't worry, you'll get it. And remember, listen to your body. If anything feels too much, back off and back up. Okay, so here we go. From the beginning with music. Opening. So far, so good, guys? Okay, let me just look at my notes, make sure I didn't skip a combo. Those one hit, yes, okay. All right, moving on. We just sat, so we just went Maya, 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 twist, forward, back, sit. Now I'm gonna roll over so that I'm on both hips, straightening the bottom leg out. Now we're sitting in a pike stretch. I'm gonna cross the downstage leg, so this is my left leg, downstage over my upstage leg. And then do 2 snake arms with your downstage arm. 1, 2, starting from the shoulder. 1, 2. Flip the palms to face the back of the wall. Glide them down the back of the wall. Place them behind you. Make sure the arms are like at a 45-degree angle out from you, okay? So again, not too close because you need the space in order to come up into our reverse plank next. Okay, so now we're here. We're gonna lift the hips up. Well, hold on. Let me go over the counts for the previous move. So we just finished here with sitting. Now we're gonna roll over, doom, and tech, 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 doom, doom, and then look at your belly button. Look at your belly button, and as you lift your hips, look up at the ceiling. Tech. Okay? So we just finished, let's see, let's take it from the side plank. So we go doom, tech, 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 doom, doom, tech, 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 doom, tech, 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 doom, doom, tech, and a doom, tech, 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 doom, doom, tech. Yes? Okay, from here, when we do this reverse plank, you want your shoulders to be in an external rotation, okay? So for me, I find the external rotation happens easier with my fingertips facing back. But for some people, it's better fingertips facing in. So you play around and experiment what works better in your body, okay? So for me, it's just better with the fingertips back. And I'm really pressing down through the bottom of my heel, my right heel, okay? I don't want to press down through my Achilles tendon, but point that foot so that the pressure is more down on the heel, okay? So then when we come up, make sure that your chest is really lifted, kind of like that back bend we were doing earlier in the warm-up, and you're pressing your hips up, okay? And now if this is too intense, you can definitely come down lower. You don't have to be that high up, yeah? You can be down here, yeah? Depending on the strength and the comfort of your body. So if you're down here, totally fine. Looks cool anyways. Now we're gonna body roll in this position, okay? So same thing, we're gonna start by pushing the belly out, tucking the pelvis in, releasing. Pushing the belly up, contract, release. And then tuck, pull in, release, pull in, flutter. And sit. And as you sit, arch your back and look at the audience. Come forward. And as you come forward, uncross those legs. And then you're going to do a hair toss forward, forward, lift up, and then point to the corner, the right corner. Yeah? Okay. Whew. I'm sweating, you guys. It's like 90 degrees today. Good Lord. We have summer here. Okay, let's try with music. Let's stand up and we'll try with music. Open with intensity. Sit. choreo? How'd we do? How are you guys doing? Any questions? Okay, let me check. Here. Okay, how about we do it again? Like 3 more times? 5 more times? Okay. Here we go. What is this? Okay. Okay, yalla, let's do it. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Actually, let's do it with the real song. All right, one more time. One more time with just the rhythm and then with the song. Here we go.
Our next group of rhythm, rest.
Okay, here we go. Pair the feet. 5, 6, 7, 8. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, and make sure to breathe. And we'll try with the song. Come up to standing. Five, 6, 7, 8. All right, so there you have it. That is our Chiftitelli choreography. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's just do a little bit of a stretch here. I'm going to save this video so that you guys can practice again at your own time. And I also have this choreo as a tutorial up on my Patreon channel, patreon.com/KorinaDance. And if you'd like me to email you the music that we used for today's class, just shoot me an email and I'll reply with the song. Okay? So let's stretch and cool down the body. Come back to your yoga mat. And we're gonna begin in child's pose. Exhale, sit your hips back onto your heels. Lower your head down nice and slow. Inhale, expanding through your ribs. Exhale, release. Take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And look up, inhale. Come forward to hands and knees, exhaling. Inhale, cat-cow. Inhale, reach your chest forward and up. Stretching the front of the body. Exhale, round. Pull that belly button in towards your spine. Extending your shoulder blades. Exhaling as you contract. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. And then lift your knees, shifting your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Your knees can have a slight bend to them. They don't have to be totally straight. And your heels are driving towards the floor, but they definitely don't need to touch the floor. The most important thing is that you're keeping a nice long spine, creating a nice long line from your wrist to your shoulders to your hips. Okay? Pedal the legs out one at a time. Nice stretch in the back of the legs and your back. Breathing. Inhale, come back down to your hands and knees. Okay, exhale, settle into this position. Inhale, reach your right arm up, opening your chest to the right. Exhale, thread the needle, lower your shoulder and head to the floor. Good. Inhale, stretch your left leg out and walk your left fingertips towards the top of the mat, opening your chest towards the ceiling. Exhaling, one more breath here, inhale. Feeling expansion, and exhale, melting into the stretch. Very shallow. And then bring your hand close to your face. Use that hand to press into the floor and come back to both hands. Keep the leg where it is. Line up the wrists underneath your shoulders. Keep a nice long spine, and we're gonna just simply shift the hips back until you feel a stretch in that inner thigh and forward. Again, stretching that inner thigh, shifting the hips back, keeping a long spine, and forward. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Inhale, come back over your wrists, and then bend the knee to meet the right. Now let's do the other side. Inhale, open up that left arm, rotating your chest towards the left. Exhale, thread the needle, drop your shoulder and head onto the mat. Now extend your right leg out. Crawl your right fingertips up towards the top of the mat and rotate your chest slightly towards the right upper corner here. Breathing here, exhaling, melting into this pose. One more breath, inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And then bring that right hand next to your face, press into the mat to come back up to both hands. Adjust your alignment so your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Keep the foot where it is, and same thing. Shift the hips back until you feel a stretch in your inner thigh, and forward. And exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Feeling that nice stretch in your right inner thigh. And come forward. We'll rebend the leg to meet the other leg. And we'll do one more downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back, dropping the head between the arms, pedal the legs out. We're gonna walk the feet towards the hands. Hand upside down. Feel free to grab hold of your elbows. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Take a deep breath here. Exhaling. Begin to straighten your legs as you pull your belly button in towards your spine. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Stacking your body back up to standing one piece at a time. Take a deep breath. Inhale, circle the arms up. Bring the hands to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands. All right, bravo, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you got a workout and learned something. I'm going to write my email here so that if you want the music, feel free to send me an email. corinadance@gmail.com. And then if you wanted to learn the tutorial on Patreon, patreon.com/corinadance. So easy, right? Okay, there it is. Send. I'm going to pin it. Pin, little pin. There. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye. And patreon.com/Karina. Oops. Okay. Cool. Thank you, guys. See you next time. Bye.